Look, guys, I'm bringing you another Genesis deck profile. So this profile is on Artmage, and I think Artmage is probably a top 5 deck in the format. I think it's really strong. It's a pretty simple deck. It's got a pretty linear combo, but it sets up like a ton of interaction points. They're all like concentrated in the main deck, so it's kind of hard to like tech against the deck. I guess I'll just go into the cards. I'll kind of explain them a little bit as I'm going through them because you might not know what they do if you haven't been playing a ton of Genesis. But I think if you're playing a ton of Genesis, you will see this deck. This deck is it's good. There are a lot of people playing it, so we're gonna make a profile. I'm playing 3 Medius Pure, so he's kind of like the most important monster in the deck. He's a 1 card starter, and what he does is he special summons a Power Patron from deck. That's his most important effect. And the Power Patron we're summoning is Artmage Power Patron. This guy, he's a quick effect fuse during the main phase, and he fuses for an Artmage fusing, so which is this guy. And then when he gets sent to the grave, he searches an Artmage spell. He's like a very important combo piece. We're playing 2 in case like we use 1, we can get another from deck. And then we're going to like the main deck Artmages. So these are the important interactions in your deck. So what the gimmick that Artmage has is that if you control any Artmage card on the field, a monster or a spell trap, there's a field spell and continuous spell. But they special summon themselves for free and they do something when they're special summoned, and they also have interaction if you have 3 different monster types. So all the monsters are different types, like Fairy, Illusion, Dragon, Spellcaster, Warrior. If you have 3 different monster types, they all have like some interaction. So Graflair, he has a quick effect to pop a spell trap your opponent controls. So next is Litera, and her special summon effect is she adds back a spell trap from grave, which is kind of important for the combo. And her quick effect is she special summons an Artmage from grave, and that's usually special summoning a Power Patron so you can get a fuse on your opponent's turn. And then the next one, I think, is probably the strongest interaction in the main deck, and that's Finmail. And when she's special summoned, she draws a card, which is good. Her quick effect is she negates all face-up monsters your opponent controls, so she's like a Dark Ruler. This is like your main interaction points, and we're really playing like 2-1-1 because they're like sort of bricks in the hand. Graflair is like decent because he like sets a spell trap, which can kind of get you going if you can manage to find a way to get him out. There's some like kind of scuffed ways to do it, like when you normal summon Power Patron, you can special summon him. And these two, they're like kind of hard bricks, so I'm only playing 1-1. You could play 2 Litera, she's like not bad, like her special summon effect. But yeah, 1-1 I think is perfectly acceptable. I never missed having multiple. And then next is probably the most important spell trap in the deck, and that's Artmage Acropolis. The main effect is you could discard a spell trap, and then you can declare an Artmage monster name that you haven't declared this turn. You can add it to hand. Yeah, so it's not once per turn. So you can keep pitching spell traps, and you can keep searching Artmage monsters. So that's why it's important that Litera adds back a spell trap when she's special summoned. You just keep like pitching spell traps, and you can get to all your guys, to all your interaction. It is also a 1-card combo. I'll go into the combos at the end of the video. Next we have Artmage Vandalism Assault. So what this card does is it adds Medius Pure, and that's like its main effect. It has like some other effects, but they're not like super important. So it is also a 1-card starter because Medius is a 1-card starter, but it's like it plays a little bit into Joel, and I already have enough 1-card starters, so I'm only playing 1. You can play multiple, you can play 3. There are people that play 2, so you get however many starters you want. Next is Alteration. So Alteration places Acropolis into the field spell zone, and if you already have an Acropolis, it searches any spell trap. It's a 1-card starter because Acropolis is also a 1-card starter, so this deck has a lot of redundancies. It has a lot of starters, which is good. And it's a decent card to draw because you can just search an Artmage card if you're already playing. Next are the 2 bricks, so I guess we'll talk about Awakening first because it's kind of the more important one. It's got 2 effects. On-field effect, special summons an Artmage from deck, or a Medius, but usually you're summoning an Artmage, and it gives your fusion summons the branded loss protection, so it's hard for your opponent to interact with your fusion summons. That's not super important because you're not going to use it all that much, but it's an alright effect. It comes up like when you're Joeled, but the main thing is the Grave effect. So the Grave effect is good because you're usually searching this and you're pitching it with the field spell to search your guys. And the Grave effect is you could target an Artmage monster you control and banish this card from the graveyard. Target an Artmage card you control, you can return it to your hand, and you can pop a card your opponent controls. It's not targeting pop, so it's just another layer of interaction after you use it to pay for the cost of your spells. And then the last Artmage card is Succession. So Succession is a quick play fusion spell. It's pretty much just quick play poly for the deck. You have to use an Artmage monster, but you can fuse for any fusion. So there are other like cards that come up. So you can fuse for any card. I'll talk about some of them in the extra deck. Usually, I'm not setting this up on the field. You can occasionally set it up, and sometimes you can get good fusion play, but the fusion play is like kind of restricted in Genesis format because Guardian Chimera is 33 points. And that's like the main thing you would use if there was like no point limit. You'd summon Guardian Chimera, and Guardian Chimera is obviously good. Now the deck costs 0 points, so you could definitely play Guardian Chimera. It's definitely not bad. But The main reason I'm playing it is you can banish this card from the graveyard, target 3 Artmage cards with different names in the graveyard, shuffle them into the deck. So it's grind game and recursion. That's the main reason I'm playing the 1. For the next set, playing 3 Fusion Deployment. This is good because the Acropolis mentions Medius Superior. So Fusion Deployment is a 1-card combo. This is why I cut down on Assaults, because Assault's already a 1-card combo. So we have 3, 6, 7, 10, 13 1-card starters, and that's like the perfect amount. You could cut it up, but I feel like 13 is probably the perfect amount of 1-card starters. And then like there are a couple like 2-card starters, like Patron Graflair also plays. So I'm playing the 3 Fusion Deployment, and if you're playing the 3 Fusion Deployment, which it's one of your best starters because special summons Medius from the deck, so it doesn't play into Joel super hard, and it's like a kind of a way to play around Joel. But if you're playing the 3 Fusion Deployments, you might as well play the 1 Cartesia. Cartesia is good in this deck because if you already have Medius access, you can Fusion Deploy for the Cartesia. The Cartesia can summon like a small little engine where you just summon the Grangugnol, and then you can send a Garura for a free draw, and then like Grangugnol has its effect to tag out, and you can tag out into Lulu, Wallet, or Priskinion depending on what interaction you need. So it's pretty good, and if you're Fusion Deployment, it's pretty much free. That's pretty much like the main core of the deck, the main engine. So after that, it's just any non-engine you want. You can tailor it to like whatever your like locals meta is, or whenever you want to play the deck. Main thing I'm gonna go into is like Black Coat Laughs. You probably do need to play because your field pitches spell traps. If you're playing a deck that pitches spell traps, you might as well play the Black Note, because if you pitch the Black Note, it's still an interaction. It's pretty good, so I would probably play the 3 of these, and then the rest of it, it's like up to you. Like Fool Loss, I don't think it's actually super good in Genesys format, but my locals, there's like a ton of combo deck players, so Fool Loss is pretty good, so I'm playing the Fool Loss. And like in DB, there's like a lot of people like testing like random control decks, so I'm not sure like if everyone was on meta, I don't think Fool Loss would be that good, but it's like decent into Rogue, and then obviously Joel, and then I'm playing the 3 Super Poly. The extra deck's like super freeze, you can play anything you want. I was playing Evenly for a time, and I really liked Evenly. You could play like different hand traps as well, so it's completely up to you what you play. And then for the rest of it, I'm just playing Cosmic Dark Ruler and the 1 DD Crow. Just to fill out the deck, you can play whatever you want. Let's go into extra deck. The Actorus is like also an important interaction. He's the Omni Negate, but you need to have the 3 different monster types, so the same restriction as the main deck guys. Having Omni Negate is obviously good. He's got some other effects. He can like change a monster's battle position, and if he gets destroyed, he specials a Medius from deck, so he kind of floats and gives you a bit of follow-up. But the main effects is Omni Negate. So Nerva is technically not an Artmage card, but Power Patron specifies you can fuse into him, so he's an honorary Artmage card. You need 3 Artmage cards, and his main effect is once per turn, when you activate an Artmage monster effect, hook effect, you can make the activated effect become destroy all cards your opponent controls. There are multiple ways to get to him. He's kind of a little hard to use because it's a win effect. You have to chain it directly to the activation of one of your Artmage cards, so if your opponent has a quick effect, they can chain block it. It's a little bit hard to use, but if you resolve it, it's obviously good. It destroys all cards your opponent controls, including the spell traps. And then it has like a protection effect if there's a card in any field zone, so it's protecting you even if your opponent is the one with it. Another important thing is you can contact fuse it by attributing 3 monsters with different types. You don't actually have to fuse it with a patron. I'm only playing 2-1. You don't actually really need more. Medius can special summon himself from grave by shuffling a monster you control that's face up, so you can recycle them pretty easily. You could recycle some of them with Succession. You could recycle the Actorus, and you don't actually end up summoning them out a lot of your interactions in the main deck. I think 2-1 is the only thing you really need. I've never really missed more. And then the rest of your extra deck is completely up to you. One thing I will mention is Secretarion Dragon can be made in engine. So Graflair is Dragon, and Lyra is a spellcaster, so you can make it with Succession. It's got that, it's got that floodgate effect against Special Summon Dragon as spellcaster, so I think it would be worth playing. It's also Super Poly. Let's target for what that's worth if you're going to play Super Poly. And then the rest of the extra deck can be whatever you want. So these are Super Poly targets, and then I've got some Ultimate Slayer targets because I have an MSI deck. You can also play Extra, and you can just like bump these up. You can play like 3-3, and you can play the Extra and not play Super Poly. You can play like Evenly instead. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to play it, but I'm pretty sure like Extra is going to get pointed next list, so I'm not playing an Extra build just for the sake of the video. And then let's talk about the Cartesia package. A Grangugnol, you need a Garura, and then you need a Lulu and or a Priskinion. You can also play the other Despia. He's just like a battle trick. Well, it's not really even a battle trick, he just makes it hard for them to beat over your guys, so he's not bad. And then side deck, it's kind of self-explanatory. Like, I think Vados is decent this format, because a lot of the top decks, including this deck, need field spell, so he's not bad. And then the rest of these are like kind of standard side deck cards you see. Dragon's Mind, I should also bring up, has some decent synergy with this deck, because the Actorus is a 25, so you can set it. And then, because you need to pay cost with spell traps, it's okay to send the Dragon's Mind for cost, because you can pay 2500 LP, and you can summon it back. It's a nice card to have. It's one thing I would note, but you don't have to play the Dragon's Mind. It's like kind of bad if you get like turn skipped by Joel Shifter, so you could play like another trap card instead. It's perfectly reasonable. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Okay, so the combos aren't really that hard, but I'm gonna show them off anyway, so you can just see how the deck kind of functions in practice. This is Medius and any spell trap card page. So you're gonna normal summon Medius, that summons a patron from deck. You're gonna use a patron and you're gonna fuse into the Acropolis. And then because patron was sent to the graveyard, you can search for a spell, you're gonna search for Acropolis. And then you're gonna activate Acropolis, you're gonna pitch the one spell trap you have, and you're gonna search for a Flare. Because you control the Acropolis or the Acropolis, you can special summon him and he's gonna set a card. So you're gonna set Alteration. So Alteration, because you have the Acropolis, is gonna search you for any Artmage card. So what you're going to search for is the Awakening, because we're going to use it to pitch. So we're going to pitch the Awakening, we're going to get the Litera, and then we're going to special summon the Litera, and then because you special summon, we get the Awakening back. And then we can pitch the Awakening again to get a Finmill, then we can special summon the Finmill. And this is pretty much the go-to board. And then obviously we got the draw Finmill. So show how we use their interactions. So we got the Grifflair spell trap pop. We got the Finmill, negate all monsters your opponent controls. We got the Actorus Omni. And then we have the Awakening pop. So we can Awakening, we can target any other guys that we've already used. I just like returning Grifflair, you can target anything pretty much. And then you can pop a card your opponent controls, not targeting. And then kind of the weird one to use, you use Litera. You special summon the patron first, so it's kind of important to know you special summon it first, so you do need space on your board. Sometimes you won't have space if you use Cartesia and there's a Ring of Knowledge just sitting on your board. So it summons the patron first, so you do need a space. And then she returns herself to hand. And then you can use the patron to fuse. You could use any 3. So I like to use the ones that I've already used. You don't necessarily have to use the Actorus, you could use the Litera you added back, but I like to keep one in hand for follow-up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You just fuse, and then you get the Nerva. And then the way we're going to trigger the Nerva is if you haven't used one and this is still on field, you can trigger it off that. But the main way we would trigger it is you use the patron, because it was sent to grave, you can add a spell trap. And you can chain directly the Nerva. Pop spell traps your opponent controls. That's the main combo. Most of the combos kind of follow the same principle as we would just go into it. We can go to the field spell combo. So we place the field spell, pitch, add Grifflair. Then we're going to special the Grifflair because we hold the field spell. And we're going to get an Assault to get the Medius. And then we're just going through the motions, the Actorus, and we're going to search the Alteration this way instead of having to set it. We're going to get the Awakening, pitch the Awakening twice. Let to add it back, pitch it again. The Finmill, and we summon the Finmill for the draw. And that's that combo. Then the third combo that you kind of need is the Alteration combo. Activate Alteration, and then Acropolis. And this is pretty much the same thing, except here it's a little bit different after you fuse. So you patron, fuse it away, then you patron, and you search directly the Awakening this time. And then you just go through the motions. Seen it before? So you can see it's quite a simple deck. You just set up your 4 guys, you can pretty much do it any time. I forgot to draw, but you can obviously draw. I know I didn't make a combo for this, but Assault, the combo is the exact same as the 1-card Medius combo. You just activate Assault, search Medius, and then the Medius combo. In conclusion, that's the deck. I think the deck it's quite good. It's pretty easy, so I think if you're kind of new to the format, or you're just returning to Yu-Gi-Oh, or you're new to Yu-Gi-Oh, I think this is a perfect deck to pick up. Medius is a lore character, so I think he's getting more support. There's already another archetype based around Medius called Doom Z. It's kind of bad, but there's another archetype afterwards coming, so we'll see. It's perfectly fine deck to pick up, and then because you already had the Medius, you could look to pick up some other versions of the deck. That's pretty much it, guys. I'll be uploading more Genesys videos, obviously. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll see you next time.